I'm Mrs. Greenlee. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Carpenter Elementary.
I'm Sharon Green. I teach 3rd grade at Carpenter, and we're going to the march downtown.
Hi, my name is Alicia Monroe, and I teach 3rd grade.
Hi, I'm Christine Dory, and I teach 4th grade.
And Stephanie Wimmer, I teach kindergarten.
I'm Roxana Dixon, and I teach 2nd grade.
Hi, I'm Marianne Reingold. I am a 2nd grade teacher at Carpenter Community Charter Elementary.
My name is Richard London. I'm a paraprofessional at Carpenter Charter Elementary School in Studio City.
Hi, I'm Heidi Reaver. I'm a 3rd grade teacher at Carpenter Community Charter.
My name's Lori Bellatech, and I'm a science enrichment teacher at Carpenter Community Charter in Studio City, California.
Hi, I'm Joni Feiner. I'm a teacher here at Carpenter Community Charter, and I am today marching and walking for our students' rights and for the teachers and for all the schools in LA Unified School District.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions pertaining to where we're about to go.
Okay.
So, how long have you been teaching yourself?
So this is my 20th year
Okay.
teaching in LAUSD. I taught for 16 years at Walter Reed Middle School in North Hollywood. I taught 6th grade, and now I teach 5th grade at Carpenter Elementary in Studio City, and I've done that this 4 years, basically.
I have been teaching at Carpenter for 15 years. Before that, I was an environmental engineer and geotechnical engineer for a big engineering firm in Los Angeles.
For how long have you been in your
I've
occupation?
been involved with, I volunteered for 9 years in another elementary school, and I volunteered a year here, and I've been, this is my 3rd year in my profession, my new profession.
Have the teaching conditions changed since you first started?
Yeah, dramatically. When I first started teaching, our class sizes were smaller, probably about 30 students. Now, on average, they're between 35 and 40, and then in some of the middle school and high school classes, the elective classes, they can get up to like 50 and 60 kids. Also, we had a lower nurse to student ratio and a lower counselor to student ratio. Like, for example, right now we get a nurse 1 day a week at our school, which is terrifying if you ask me, because we have students that are epileptic, we have students that are diabetic, we have students that have life-threatening illnesses that none of us are really prepared to handle, and it's just by kind of a wish and a prayer that nothing has happened. And then in terms of the counselors, the ratio is something like one counselor to 2,000 students. So students are not getting their emotional needs met, and in terms of colleges, their needs met in terms of applying to colleges. It's just, it's untenable. And we also didn't have the onerous amount of testing when I first started teaching. Students took an end-of-the-year assessment called the California Standards Test. We recently, actually not recently, probably in the last 5 years, shifted to the Smarter Balance assessments, which are Common Core aligned. And now, on average, I did the math, students take about 30 hours of testing, my 5th grade students. So that equates to a week of instruction. And I think that that is also completely ridiculous.
Oh yes, yes. There's so much focus on testing, not as much time on experiential, even though we do lots of experiential things. We just need more.
Well, I think the class sizes that I've seen over the 2 schools that I've been involved with has gotten larger, and I think that's a detriment to the students, and it's certainly difficult for the teachers to keep having to, trying to teach more children.
How do you feel the current administration has influenced education?
Yeah, well, I feel like their whole model, whole process is privatization. And taking away funds from public schools and putting towards charters where there is less oversight, there's no unions, they can cherry pick the types of students that they want to have in their schools, and it's really like becoming like a private school model. but using public funds.
Right, with the whole charter idea.
The huge charter movement, and Betsy DeVos is leading that. And so, yeah, I feel like that has really influenced, even in Los Angeles, which is heavily Democratic. We now have a superintendent who is really along the lines of the Trumpian Betsy DeVos model of education.
Right.
Who believes that really just looking at numbers. And I've heard from colleagues that they've purchased software. The superintendent has decided to purchase software and essentially just pressing play and having a virtual teacher while we're on strike. So that kind of gives you an idea of his idea of our value, that basically we can be replaced with a computer program. And I think he's going to be in for a rude awakening.
The substance is being devoid from just a statistics type system.
Yeah, he's very much a numbers guy and doesn't have experience in education, and I feel like that has been influenced by the current administration in the White House.
All they care about is money. They don't actually care anything about the kids. It's unfortunate.
Okay, so what are you hoping to gain by going on strike?
I'm hoping to gain the teachers are successful in what they're striking for. Lower class size, less testing, and more enrichment teachers on all campuses.
More counseling, nursing, libraries, nutritious food, and anything that helps the kids.
We're going on strike basically for all the conditions that I mentioned. Salary is really not even a secondary but a tertiary issue. We haven't had a contract for the last 18 months, the teachers, and basically we want smaller class sizes, we want more special ed teachers hired. Those are some of our most vulnerable students that need more support. We want less testing, we want more nurses and counselors hired, we want better working conditions, but really they're better conditions for our students. And I get really emotional when I talk about it.
It's alright. It's okay.
Because the idea of leaving my class goes against the grain of who I am and what I've done with my life. It really is incredibly upsetting to me. I don't even like to leave my class for an hour to go to a meeting, so the thought of like abandoning my class is really just devastating to me. But I feel like it has to happen. This strike, unfortunately, for things to change. And we're not talking about our salary, we're talking about the fact that California is one of the largest economies in the world. Yet there's no focus put on education. And year after year after year, we're just kind of told to deal with it, and we're not dealing with it anymore. But I also feel like because it's a predominantly female profession, they gave us like a little offer, like, oh, here's a small salary increase, and we'll do this and this for you, and just kind of go away. And we're not going away.
Right.
Sorry, I got emotional.
No, of course, it's fine, really.
Notice the expression on his face. That's what's going to be there when he sees us striking.
Okay, how has the education system changed since you first started?
A lot. The class size has gone up. That's the whole reason I started when California went 20 to 1, and that no longer is in play. Not being able to have choice in what we do, like what we teach. The pay hasn't really improved. Work conditions is the main thing for me anyway, work conditions.
So, why are you going on strike?
Because we need the district to hear our demands and to take us seriously. And we're tired of like asking and begging and pleading and not having our demands met. It's been at least 10 years of begging and asking for the same thing and nothing happening. And we've gone through like 3 or 4 different superintendents, and nothing is happening. So we need to like make a stance and make it strong, and that's why we're striking.
All right.
Has anybody mentioned that the administrators all got a 14% pay raise, and they don't even want to give the teachers a 6% pay raise?
How does that make you feel, sir?
Well, it's obviously unfair.
Hopefully this will make a difference today.
The teachers are the ones doing the work.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. How long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for 15 years.
Okay. How has the education system changed since you first started?
Unfortunately, they've been taking and taking and taking every single year. So our class sizes continue to get bigger with less funding, less support, and there is $1.9 billion in reserves that they refuse to use back in our schools for our students. That's a shame. And there's $600 million that are being used for privatizers, for charter schools, for profit charter schools that should be invested back in our schools. Only fools starve the schools, and it's time for them to reinvest in our public schools, not in privatization.
You say that you've been to a rally for like the past 8 years. How does this one compare to the ones from past?
It looks like there's a great turnout, even on a holiday for us, so that's good. Because they're usually after school, like on like after like Thursday or something, or Friday after school. But like this is a Saturday, and we're all here, and we have so much support from other school districts and from like other unions, not just teachers. So that's really cool.
Nice. All right, thank you.